Yeah, I mean, I hear what Luke's saying. It's kind of all just a dumpster fire right now. I mean, they don't know what to do at quarterback. I think their offensive game planning and play calling is horrendous, like both y'all just touched on.
Welcome to Who Runs the Commonwealth. This is the podcast, the only podcast comparing all three schools. Oh, I'm sorry, the best three schools in Virginia. JMU, my name's Austin, big JMU fan. If you haven't been here in a while, that's Zach Kinney if you're watching on YouTube, and that's Luke Howard if you are watching on YouTube. Zach Kinney's a big fan of UVA. Luke Howard's a big fan of Virginia Tech. And we all are from Virginia, diehard fans. So we took a couple weeks off there because Luke is sick and dying. I'm gonna blame it on that. Zach's got a cat in his video. That's awesome. I believe that's Gray the cat, correct?
You're on
That
mute, Zach.
that I'm pretty sure that's Gray the cat. He muted it. The cat muted it. That's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Anyway, yeah, so we've been off for a couple weeks, but yeah, well, glad to be back. Our game of the week this week is definitely ODU and JMU. That's our Virginia game of the week. Got a couple powerhouses going at it. I did see. I'm not sure if you guys saw the stat, but Virginia is like there's like a power ranking going on, or like between the states, right? And Virginia, well, they were ranked 12th on this stat, but I think we got pushed to 7th with like a Liberty win on a Tuesday or something like that. But yeah, I think some of the top ones were like obviously like Georgia, stuff like that.
I don't know. Liberty's a way smaller school than UVA is.
Yeah. Well, not online. I'm not sure. We have to look at the money wise, but Liberty definitely has a lot of money to be competing with everybody else. So
Oh, for sure.
I guess that's why it's a little frustrating. A little frustrating for them to not be with their. I think his coach is getting paid like their coach is getting paid like 4 million, which is like what Brett Pry was making. So pretty
What the
crazy.
fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. He came from where one of the Sun Belt teams, Coastal Carolina,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
they took their quarterback. So Coastal Carolina 2.0. All right, so Zach, who's UVA playing this week? I forget.
We host Washington State on Saturday night. They've been up until last week, they looked like one of the worst teams in the FBS, but they actually went on the road last week and almost upset Ole Miss. They were leading for a good portion of the game, and Ole Miss was lucky to get away with it at the end. They turned the ball over three times, so we're favored by 17 and a half, but the way Washington State looked last week, I'm kind of scared. So if we don't come out flat out of the bye week, we better be ready. Luke, can't hear you.
I think that's going to be an easy dub for Virginia. Virginia's been slaughtering everybody. I feel like they're on a good roll right now, and I feel like that's just going to continue.
Oh yeah, I hope so. We squeaked by the last few weeks with Florida State and Louisville, but obviously Louisville's a really good team. Florida State, I don't know, every week goes by, they look worse and worse. But no, like I'd probably put Washington State on the same level as Stanford, and we beat Stanford by like 30 something. So if we cover 17 and a half, I'll be happy.
Yeah, Washington State's pretty surprising this year. Or who did they played Ohio State close, was it?
No, they haven't played anybody good except for Ole Miss. Washington State looks absolutely horrible, like on paper. They
Yeah, it
only
was
beat
gold.
Idaho by like three in the first game. That's an FCS school. And then they lost by like 60 to North Texas.
Yeah, but it was 24-21 against Ole Miss
Yeah, that's what I was
last
saying.
week.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
my
opened
bad.
with. Yeah.
My connection's terrible.
Oh no, you're good. But no, oh, you didn't hear any of my intro?
No, I
Oh
didn't
my
hear anything.
God. No,
But it's okay.
I was just saying basically overall, we're 17 and a half points favorites for all the way up until last week. I was like, it's the easiest dub on our schedule, easiest team we play, even including like Coastal Carolina, William and Mary. They're so bad. And then they go on the road to Ole Miss and we're winning for a lot of the game and almost beat them. Ole Miss was lucky to win. So that's got me a little worried, but I just hope we cover the 17 and a half.
Yeah, I think that I really feel like that was a one-off, but maybe they're getting hot like at the right times. So I guess this is kind of like the week to find out,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
they
Yeah.
changed their quarterback 2 weeks out, and that's been like their difference. He's like a big running quarterback, and I think because nobody had tape on him, they didn't know how to play him. So hopefully, we saw how Ole Miss was struggling with him. We should have a good game plan for it, but we'll see.
Luke, Virginia Tech is on a bye this week, but I know you have some stuff to say about the coaching and quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep starting Kyron Jones. That's been a really big issue for me because I feel like he has way too many turnovers. Each game you see he has 4 or 5 sacks, and then which obviously could be an offensive line issue as well. I know that they had a lot of their starters last year on the injured list this year, so that also takes a lot when you're starting freshmen or redshirt freshmen, starting offensive linemen. Obviously, that's not going to work at a D1 level, especially people that aren't getting those reps. But Drone's just very frustrating that he's not able to. I feel like we got good wide receivers. I feel like we have a good running back, but just not being able to get the ball to where it needs to go every single time. We've had the most yards he's passed for is 266, and that was against who was that? It was like 3 weeks ago against a. One second, let me see what this is. Let me see what game that was. I think that was ODU. He had like 266, and that was against their second and third string when he came in. Because up until halftime, he had 85 passing yards, which is terrible. And he had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, finishes the game. Two passing touchdowns, 1 interception, 3 fumbles. And you just cannot win football games with turnovers. And I feel like he just keeps turning the ball over. And then they're like, hey, we got that transfer quarterback in. He's supposed to be pretty good. And then we also have Pop Watson, who popped off last year in his first start against UVA, had like 70, I think it was, passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and he had like 80 some rushing yards. So it's like, why aren't we, obviously we're in a rebuild situation right now. They're looking for coaches and rebuilding our program back to what it used to be. And they're not willing to, okay, well, this guy's a 5th-year senior. Let's try out the other guys to see what's going on. It's very frustrating to watch. Losing games, not being able to play, just very frustrating.
The running back, I can't remember his name for Virginia Tech, has been like a big difference maker. I think he played against NC State, the team you guys beat, and then he's been out since then. I'm not sure if he played last week or not. I was pretty zoned in on the JMU game. But yeah, what about, I think, who'd Virginia Tech? I'm sorry, this is going to sound so bad. Who'd Virginia Tech lose to last week? Was it Wake Forest? Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, Wake Forest 30-23. Kyron Jones had 111 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
You said 111?
Yeah, 111 passing yards,
Oh my
one
gosh.
touch and 1 interception. So it's like week after week we're seeing it where Kyron Jones is not able to produce passing yards. Whatever the condition is, he's just not producing. It took him going against ODU's second and third strings just to get over 200. So it's like, why are we continuously to start a guy who's not able to be the guy that we need to win football games? That's why I'm getting very frustrated. And I really hope they just, hey, it's not working out. We've seen it hasn't worked out all this year. All last year it didn't work out. So why don't we just switch it up? Try a different quarterback for at least one, just first quarter, try it out. If it doesn't work, go back to Cameron Jones, Or maybe that might make Cameron Jones play better, knowing that he's competing for a position.
On Stewart did play this game, which is interesting. He had 62 yards, but only 9 carries. He averaged 7 yards a carry, so maybe he's nursing it. Zach, what do you got on Virginia Tech?
Yeah, I mean, I hear what Luke's saying. It's kind of all just a dumpster fire right now. I mean, they don't know what to do at quarterback. I think their offensive game planning and play calling is horrendous. Like both of y'all just touched on. Like, why are they not focusing on running the ball? I mean, going into the year, their strength was supposed to be their offensive line and running game, running with the running backs and with Drones, who's a good running quarterback. And the transfers that they got were like so hyped up on the O line. Like Tech fans were going crazy in the offseason saying they're going to compete for the ACC just based off their O line class and some of their receivers, and they just can't put it together. So I really don't get it. I think the running game is scary, or has the potential to be scary. But then again, it's hard when you can load the box with 9 and 10, knowing that Drones can't throw the ball down the field, which I also don't get because I saw him do it extremely well last year. Like when they went on the road to Miami, He literally outdueled Cam Ward and should have won on the Hail Mary at the end. It's not like Drones can't do it. I don't think it's a talent issue. I think it's a coaching issue. And so just like I thought going into the season, I thought both their coordinator hires were really bad. I kind of like the defense coordinator, but the offense coordinator I'm not a fan of. He didn't really have a great background, so I don't know. I'm still a believer in Drones, to be honest. I'm not saying that because like, oh, I want him to start against UVA because he sucks. Like I'm scared of Drones. If he's playing well to his full potential, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC. We just have not seen that in over a year now.
Yeah, it's pretty hot and cold. We have something similar at JMU, so I definitely feel the struggle of that. It's like when he's hot, it's like, oh, this guy's the best. When he's cold, it's like, man, this guy sucks, dude. It's like really bad. And I think similar to Virginia Tech, JMU's, it's kind of like a coaching issue. You know what I mean? So maybe not like putting him in the best positions, throwing it short. This guy got a rocket arm through like he had a touchdown the other day on like a fake on a double reverse flea flicker, and it was like it traveled like 60 air yards right in the guy's chest, and and then he misses a wide open 15-yard touchdown. So it's definitely hot and cold. I get that. Yeah, I will like just going into Zach. I was gonna jump into the JMU game last week, and then we could go to UVA just because we didn't touch on those yet. So JMU beat Louisiana. Tough to say that without the accent. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, they were picked coming out to be the representative for the Sun Belt West division in the Sun Belt. Yeah. And he's really dynamic on the ground, throwing the ball. I didn't see the first guy. I mean, I don't even think he played like even a half of football. I'm not sure, but he got injured in the first week. I haven't really looked up in him. Their second string just wasn't cutting it, 50 yards passing, blah, blah, blah. So they go to this guy, and he comes in against Marshall last week, and they beat him in double overtime, which didn't look like an impressive win, but Marshall just beat ODU, who is a playoff contender, some say.
They were until they
They
got
were,
killed by
yeah,
Marshall. Yeah,
yeah. It's hard. Hey, man, it's hard to win on the road, you know? I think that's all along college football, which is not to get sidetracked, but Kurt Cignetti going into Oregon and Indiana. I think it's more of an impressive win because they were on the road. I mean, Oregon does not lose at home.
absolutely.
Um,
Indiana's legit.
Yeah, well, Oregon's
and
also
all,
10,000 fans, 110,000 people in their stands. That's crazy.
yeah,
One of
yeah,
the largest stadiums in college football.
it's a crazy atmosphere. And of course, the JMU transfers did show out, but we won't get into that. So anyway, coming off Georgia State, offense looked terrible coming into this game. Everybody was all worried. Offense looked very good at times, very bad at times. 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, 1 interception, and a turnover on downs. I think it's worth mentioning Matthew Sluka. I think both of you guys know by now is a utility quarterback kind of thing, like a Taysom Hill type deal. He comes in, he runs. That's pretty much it. Everybody is very against this. At this point, I think the successful plays with him in is like below 30% now, which is where you get successful yards. Brought him in on 3rd and 6. I won't go into the details, but he got stuffed twice. So on 3rd and 4th down.
It's
Um,
annoying because it's just like it's the effect with Taysom Hill too. It's just like when you bring him on the field, everybody in the fucking stadium knows exactly what's about to happen. So it's like you're not confusing anybody. The defense loads up and they just stuff them. And yeah, sometimes you can trick them with some play action, but obviously JMU's not doing that enough. So the play calling needs to be more creative if you're going
yes.
to put him in the game.
Yes, 100%. That's it. That's the drawback is like it just comes in, they stack the box. I mean, 3rd and 6 is not a running down. So it's like if you're gonna run it, you kind of got to get them by surprise, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
To me anyway. And it's like just the cornerbacks outside. It was everybody was in the box. So yeah. I mean, he did get 4 yards on it. Credit to him. I mean, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's a good running quarterback, but them just not putting him in the best places. Defense played lights out again. Still like top 10, I think top 5 now in the country for defense. They had well, Jesus Christ, the penalties, 10 penalties, 110 yards again. I know neither of y'all didn't watch the game, but they were some crazy bad penalties. I think you ask any Louisiana fan, you know what I mean? There was a block in the back when the guy like literally just had a hand on him. I mean, really, not even a block in the back. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of penalties. And then and then a 69-yard touchdown on a slant. Guy fell down. The coverage guy, DJ Barksdale, and that was it. Missed a field goal, not ideal. Blocked a field goal, pretty ideal. So that's pretty much the wrap on JMU's last week.
Yeah, sounds like they should have killed him. A missed field goal, two fumbles, a pick, turnover and downs. That's five drives right there that
Yeah,
basically should have all had points. That's
yeah.
absolutely absurd. That's coaching.
And I think they were all pretty much on majority, if not all of them, were on Louisville's side of the field, if not within the 30-yard line, like 20, 25. It was pretty frustrating, yeah, to watch. But let's get into some UVA film, brother. Louisville, I mean, geez, too many L's. Yeah, Louisville, you guys, UVA got us on that one.
So yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. Last week we had a bye, but there's been multiple games that we've had since we've been on here, I guess. But yeah, we beat Florida State in OT, obviously huge. But then, yeah, being underdogs to Louisville 2 weeks ago, I did not expect to win that game at all, and I thought Louisville would even cover the spread. The spread was like 7. I just thought coming down after the Florida State game would be tough going on the road against a good Louisville team. We had no chance, and we got off to a hot start. For some turnovers. We had two defensive touchdowns, which is like unheard of for us. And our offense did just enough. It was the first game, though. That was the first game all year that somebody shut down our offense. We were missing a couple key offensive linemen, and we just could not get a rhythm. We couldn't run the ball the way we have been with Jamari Taylor. Chandler Morris, it was his first game where he was just off, just a little off with timing throws. And so we were really reliant on our defense to get those turnovers, give us good field position, and obviously score. And then in the second half, we started eating away. Our D lines finally started getting sacks. Miller Moss, we slowed them down a little bit. And then we were up 24-14 entering the fourth. Honestly, that game should not have gone OT. We tried to give that game away so many times in the fourth quarter. And there was like a 3rd and 26 with like 3 minutes left. We get a stop. We won the game. And they throw a 30-yard seam route for a first down. Like I was throwing shit in the house. I was like, this is unreal. This is so UVA. Got to give them credit, the coaching staff, the players. There's something special about this season. Just finding ways to win where games in years past with under this coaching staff we would not have and we haven't. Yeah, huge, huge to get that win to go into the bye week 5-1. And yeah, it was bye week came at a perfect time because we got to get healthy. We have a lot of O-line injuries and some defensive backs I need to get healthy. But looking forward to the second half of the season now. 6 games to go.
Have you ever heard, it's like, if you ever ask the coach if it's a good time for the bye week, the bye week's always the perfect time.
That's
Have you
true.
ever heard that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's coach speak, man.
That's Coach Feek. It's ingrained in me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I just think I know you guys had a bye week last week. I just felt like it was important to talk about because we shared the opponent, JMU and UVA,
Oh,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
course. And man, that Louisville defense is crazy. I mean, JMU is not the best on our offense, but it crushed us on
Yeah, that's the
defense.
best
So
defense we'll see all
suffocating.
year for
Yeah, I think
JMU
that's.
too. Yeah.
Mhm. Go ahead, Luke. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like Tony Elliott's really changed the UVA's entire program completely in a 360. I was watching this hype video of their coach last week, and it was essentially saying that, like, when he came to UVA, people were just kind of throwing their equipment around, not flushing the urinals and stuff like that for the field. So he
That's
started
crazy.
walking up behind them and making sure, and he'd count the urinals, and then every single urinal that was done, they'd have to run sprints. So it's really brought this pedigree that we have to do better. We have to be better in all aspects in order for our football to get better. And I feel like it has really gotten a lot better for UVA. And I feel like they're going to continue to ride that wave. Just hope Tony Elliott doesn't get picked up by a bigger school. That'd be terrible.
No, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, that's the problem. Like the past like 3 years, he's been doing everything right except for winning football games, which is what he's hired to do. And like we've done all the small things right. He's a great coach, a great person. More importantly, he's very reminiscent of Tony Bennett, where he's just like an all-around world-class person, like human being that relates to players, and it's very reminiscent of Mike London, who everybody like knew was just a great football coach. And so for a while there, we were scared that was Tony, but it's just funny how you get a little bit of money, some talent finally in the program for the first time in a while, and you can see what can happen. But everything you said is right. Like it is a true testament to his character, and I think he specifically like deserves the success we're having given everything he's been through. And then luckily he's been so bad in the past, like there's like at least this offseason we'd have to win like the national championship for him to get any sort of attention. And there's only one school that he would leave us for, and that's Clemson because that's where he went to school. It's where he's on the coaching staff. And so, yeah, that's why I'm praying, if we continue to be successful and win 8, 9, 10 games over the next several years consistently, then Dabo gets fired, then I'd be scared because that's the only place he'd leave us for. So, yeah, I'm hoping Dabo and Clemson win 12 games every year just to keep them away.
Yeah, I think it's funny he came in of the year, like everybody's kind of talking about how he was going to be fired. I think even our season opening, I think you said that too, like all the Virginia coaches could have new coaches next year, all for different reasons. And I think for me personally, it wouldn't be just about the money, you know what I mean? Because if you're Tony Elliott, Bob Chesney, whatever coach, right? I feel like I've heard a lot of, just for example, like Bob Chesney going to Virginia Tech. It's like, why would you take that job? Like, yes, there's millions of dollars at first, but then a year of not winning, 2 years of not winning, you're going to get fired again. You know what I mean? So like, some kind of job security has to play a role in it. You know what I mean? Like I would even take the Penn State job is, well, you'd make tens of millions of dollars, but
No, but I totally agree. I would
um,
not take that job. They were winning seven. They were going 7-5, 8-4 before James Franklin, and that wasn't enough. James Franklin comes in and is perennially winning 10, 11, 12 games a year, and now that's not enough. It's the LSU effect. LSU, you can win 9, 10 games every year. Georgia, same thing. That's not enough. You have to be competing for a national championship every single year, and there's only a few human beings on the planet that are capable of doing that at a sustained level. So it's insane to me that these fan bases and these donors are just running away these very, very good coaches. Now, the James Franklin thing is different. I mean, it's bizarre to say the least, his
He
record
did
against top
lose a lot of
top
games
opponents.
against.
And then yeah, this year they had a rut. They got in the middle of a rut. They had their Super Bowl game against Oregon, and they were one play away from winning that. And then obviously these are college kids, and it's hard to respond. You have to travel hundreds of miles west coast, go on the road against a hungry UCLA team, and you get upset. And then the next week you play Northwestern, and your quarterback gets kicked out or hurt for the year. So it's like these things happen. So like, I mean, I'm okay with Penn State moving on just because James Franklin's record was so bad against top opponents. It's kind of like Brent Pry's record in one-score games. Like at some point, it's just unforgivable. There's nothing you can do about it. But to your point, Austin, there's so many programs out there that are just chasing away head coaches, and then the fan bases are just like pining for more. Like you said, Virginia Tech's next coach, you best believe you better be winning 7, 8 games within 2 to 3 years, or you're done. And so that's the problem they got to face.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I think talking to like like I'm sure that AD, like there's interviews, right? Like the athletic director, and I'm sure it's all like flowers at the start, right? Like, oh, we're gonna put so much money into it, like we have so much commitment, and then you guys aren't aligning on stuff throughout the years, and that just I don't know. I guess it depends on the interview, I guess. You know what I mean? But I'd just be like, if I was a coach having success like Tony Elliott, Bob Chesney, I would just like really be careful. You know what I mean? Because then you can be out of job and nobody will touch you. But I mean, look at Dan Mullen. You know what I mean? Which also, well, go ahead, Luke. What were you gonna say?
oh, I was gonna say it's even like the issue for like what you were saying about coaches getting run off. It's like Belichick. He was already fought. He's already gone from UNC after less than a year of being there. They fired him,
Yeah,
and it's like that's crazy because UNC's in a
They
major
didn't fire
rebuild.
him. Did that just happen or something?
Yeah, he got 50 million. They gave him 50 million for him to leave.
No, he's not. He's still the head coach. He's committed for the rest of the year.
Oh, so
you're
after
thinking
that
of
he's gone now. I thought they bought him
Mm-mm.
out.
No, there was rumors going around that they're thinking about it. But no, no, no. He just released a statement. The university released a statement last week saying, no, like he's committed through the rest of the season. They're still working hard, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, well, that's good then.
yeah. You can't. I mean, I get the reasoning behind firing Bill Belichick. Like,
Well, no, they should. I mean, if they were smart, they would. I mean, that's a whole different scenario. That is the biggest. I mean, I love it because I hate Carolina. That's the biggest dumpster fire clown show I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Let's just give all the money we've built up for this program and just hand it to this 80-year-old guy who is so washed up, dried up, cannot coach anymore, cannot relate. There's so many stories that are coming out too right now. It's going on behind the scenes at Carolina. Like he does not give a fuck about any of those kids. He was thinking that he would just come in, pay a bunch of transfer money, get a bunch of talent, win 8 games, prove that he can coach, and go back to the NFL. He had no plans of staying more than 1 or 2 years max. And now it's blowing up in their face. It is a comedy show, and I'm here for it. Like I hope they keep him forever, because we'll damn sure beat their ass every year.
So will JMU.
Absolutely,
We got one coach fired. Let's go for
that's
two.
true. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, for you said it all for Bill Belichick. I just think you have to give him a year, or like throughout the year, because you can't pay the guy all that money
that would be
and like,
insane. Yeah, to get rid of him
yeah,
now.
it's just too early. And I mean, if you've seen his interviews, it's like we don't. He was like, we don't have any recruits. Like none of his people are there, which is kind of a cop out because
That's the worst. It's
you do
like
have transfer portal. I
yeah, it's
mean,
not. They literally spend more money in the transfer portal than most teams in the ACC. So I don't want to hear it. UVA is 5-1, has potential to contend for the ACC championship game. Duke is the same. Georgia Tech's the same. We're all spending money. So just because y'all are losing, blaming the player. That's so typical. That's funny to me.
mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I really like. I can't wait to watch the documentary about Jordan. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? That's gonna be insane. All right, let's since we're actually on coaches, Luke, you want to run us through your coaches that you would like to see or potential coaches? You want to let me start with a list, I guess. Shane Beamer, Dan Mullen, which we've talked about a little bit, Jimbo Fisher, and Blake Baker. Frequently mentioned. Other possibilities include Bob Chesney, Ryan Silverfield, Alex Golish, and Charles Huff, who's having a really good season at Southern Miss right now. But he won't be able to bring his Marshall transfers, I don't think. But yeah, go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, I don't know. Still very early on in the whole process of everything, but
Yeah.
I really just don't believe that. They brought Bruce Arians in, the three-time Super Bowl champion coach. They brought him in. He used to go to Tech, but he's trying to help out with the program to get a new coach in there, which thankfully, hopefully, we can get someone in. But I don't think. I think if have y'all seen the SEC movie about like a TV show or whatever about Shane Beamer and about him
Yeah.
at South Carolina? Yeah, there he
He's
does
zero
not want to
percent
come
chance.
back.
There's 0%
There's
chance he's going
zero
to Tech.
chance he's going
Yeah.
back to Virginia Tech. He strongly said, "Hey, that's my dad's school. My dad built that program." And whenever he was there, they were still thinking, "Oh, this is your dad." You know what I'm saying?
He
And
wants to
that's
make
not what
his
he
own.
wants.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think he has a better chance of going to a different SEC school or a different ACC team, but he's definitely not going to go back to Blacksburg. Jimbo Fisher would be a nice one for sure. But other than that, I still think it's too early on to really clarify who's going to be the next coach or roll it down to three people because they need to make sure whoever they do pick is going to stick around for one, especially with the new 50 million that was donated and then their new plan to have 100 and some million over the next 4 years for the football program. So with the transfer portal for years, even before the NIL deals. So I think it's just very wishy-washy right now. I feel like even though I feel like UVA's having great success, will hopefully turn out to be Virginia Tech's success because UVA doing well is going to eventually Virginia Tech will eventually be there.
What do you think about, real quick, what do you think about James Franklin? I have a lot to talk about for our Virginia Tech coach, I think. Just bouncing off your ideas. But what do you think about James Franklin? I heard a lot about that this week.
Well, that would be nice. I
Well,
would love that.
that's Tech's dream. I
Yeah.
would say there's like 5% chance of that happening. Like
Really?
the only reason I think he would, I mean, let's be real. Like James Franklin, high profile guy. He's probably one of the hottest guys on the market. Why would he want to pick up his bags and go to Blacksburg of all places? That's going to have like they'll give him everything they can, but it's going to be hard to recruit right out of the gate. I don't care how much money he has, and he's going to have to succeed immediately. They're going to be like, let's just say, for example, James, like he's interested in going to Virginia Tech. Like he'll make sure Virginia Tech ponies up to get him. Like I said, he's probably one of the hottest coaches on the market for this coming cycle. he'd probably make him one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid coach in the ACC outside of Dabo Sweeney. So with that comes expectations. With expectations, his career is over if he fails at Virginia Tech. So James Franklin's next job is so vital that he goes somewhere where he can succeed immediately, guaranteed, and work his way back up to a big conference. So it makes zero sense from if I was James Franklin to go to Virginia Tech. But there are some other guys that you had brought up, Austin, that are high profile guys that I actually think would be a good fit at Virginia Tech, but I don't think he's one of them.
Yeah, I was thinking the opposite, which I know, yes, he's won a lot at Penn State, but they did just fire him. I feel like he's going to go. I'm not sure who's going to hire him. You know what I mean?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, he also doesn't have to get another job immediately. He can wait for the right move and right opening for him.
That's true. That's true. But, and then that's kind of why I was thinking he would kind of take like a lesser job. You know what I mean? Not say Virginia Tech is a lesser job, but maybe he goes the Dan Mullen route and goes to the group of five and kind of just cash out his 50 million over the next couple of years, build up his coaching, like you were just saying, succeed a lot and get like that next opportunity. You know what I mean? Which is
Yeah,
what I was thinking.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. I mean, I could see that for sure. But the guys on your list, like I think Alex Golish would be a home run hit. I like just thinking it from a rival standpoint, UVA standpoint, guys that I want Tech to hire, just because knowing that I'm not really threatened, or guys that I know will turn the program around immediately. Alex Golish is a guy that'll turn it around immediately. I hope they don't hire him. Another guy who's probably going to get canned this year is Billy Napier at Florida. He was heavy in Tech's coaching search during the Brent Pry cycle.
mm,
Um, he
good
was
call.
mentioned to be second or third on the list. I think if he gets canned, Virginia Tech will certainly give him another call, and he's a guy that scares me. Florida's a very tough job, man. Like at the end of the day, like Will Muschamp I think he failed at Florida, he failed at South Carolina, but there's something about those guys failing there and going to ACC schools. It's just different. I think Billy Napier would be the perfect fit from a personality and just a dog standpoint in Blacksburg. So that would scare the shit out of me. So those are two guys that if I was Tech, I'd be like, love to get them. I don't think there's any way Jimbo's coaching again. He's getting older. He's mentioned it many times how much he loves being on TV and doing his thing as an analyst, and he's really good at it. And then Dan Mullen's the only other one that's worth mentioning. I mean, Dan Mullen is another guy that, honestly, out of all those guys, he probably scares me the most just because I know he's such a good fucking coach. But I don't know. It's like it goes back to the James Franklin thing with him. It's like, what kind of interest would you have in Virginia Tech when again, a lot of pressure will be put on you. Where at UNLV, they're competing for a playoff right now. He can make the playoff any year with UNLV, and with the talent. And UNLV is not like, yeah, they're a group of five, but they're no joke when it comes to resources and money. They get in more money than most ACC schools. There's a huge donor base there. So, and it's Vegas. So yeah, I don't really see why he would be interested in Virginia Tech, but I know Billy Napier would for sure. And pray to God that that doesn't work. I hope Florida keeps him.
That's a really good call. I like the Billy Napier. That makes a lot of sense. Like you just kind of see him there, honestly.
Hmm.
Which will he go good? I don't know if I'd say that, but what do you think, Luke? You need to work in the front office over at Virginia Tech, brother. Huh?
Absolutely not.
As a Virginia fans, here's what I would be most concerned about.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's. I know this is getting long, but let's jump into this week's
Yeah.
games. Honestly, I came into this like, hey, let's make a long one, because we haven't been here in a while. So even if it's like an hour and a half, let's do it. I heard the sweet spot of podcast was about hour to an hour and a half. I'm just saying, I'm so serious. Anyway, okay, let's go into, if you guys are okay, let's go into JMU first. You guys cool with that? Because we got an in-state opponent with the ODU Monarchs. It's called the Royal Rivalry. Wow, say that three times fast. Royal Rivalry, right? So the Royal Rivalry, is between all sports all year. So you get like a point for football, you get a point for soccer, you get the picture. Then you get the trophy at the end of the year. That's just cut and dry. How concerned am I for this game? I don't know. I'd say 50-50. I'd say it's 50-50. And you see the point spread. JMU is a 2.5 point favorite
It's down to 1.5
because they're
now.
oh yeah. Well, see.
It's
And
dropping.
that's just because they're at home. So I'd say it's toss-up game just because of the JMU offense. I think JMU's defense holds them down to probably less yards, less scores than they have had all year. I don't think they're going to do much. Like offensively, of course, Colton Joseph, Kojo, some people are calling him, is looking very good. But I don't know. We've played a lot of running quarterbacks, maybe not with the arm talent of him, but I think he's very similar to the Louisiana quarterback last week. And I think they'll stop him up pretty good through the ground game at least. He might tear us up on the throw, but I say we haven't allowed more than 150 rushing yards. I'm just throwing that number out there, but I'm very confident in it. 150 rushing yards per game at all this year, so I'm not too concerned about that portion. But we've had some big plays through the air, so that's kind of more what I'm concerned about, I guess. But they do have a pretty good secondary, so we'll see. They're prone to turnovers, which is great. They had 5 turnovers against Marshall last week in their 48-24 loss, which was 48-10, I think, going into the fourth quarter. So a little stat padding at the end against the second, third string guys. Yeah, and I think if JMU's offense continues to get better, I think I think they'll win by a touchdown. Is my genuine prediction. Maybe let's call it 21-28, I would say.
Yeah, this game leading before or looking at JMU's schedule and the way ODU's been playing before last week, definitely a concerning game, especially the way JMU's been playing. You just gave a good rundown of ODU. So I think this game is going to come down to who can take care of the ball, be consistent on offense. But there's something about this game I have to say I have a bad feeling for JMU just because ODU's pissed coming off the Marshall game. And again, JMU just hasn't put a full game together yet this year. It's like every game, even if you didn't know anything about them and you're just looking at spreads, I think they're one of the worst teams in the country in terms of covering this against the spread. They're just not performing to the expectation that everybody has for them outside of the Louisville game where they actually did play well against that level of competition. But like last week, they should have won. I feel like even Austin said, there's 5 drives where they could have had points. That could have been like the Marshall score could have been like 48-10 at some point in that game. So I don't know. I put that on coaching. I think this game is just going to come down to who coaches the guys up better, who takes care of the ball. So it's a pick 'em game for me. So I'm only going to pick JMU because it's at home. Tough to win there in Bridgeport. So yeah, I'm gonna go JMU 24-21.
Mm.
Really quick, sorry to cut you off.
No worries.
So I think the Marshall, outside looking in, I would understand why you would think Marshall's a good school, but they're really not. Like it's kind of like it's that surprising. You know what I mean? Like
Isn't that where Charles Suff is?
that's where he left from and took all their players.
Oh, where's he now?
He's at
Oh,
Southern
Southern
Miss.
Miss. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
got it
yeah, yeah.
confused. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing is they had like a really bad game against I wouldn't call them bad. Maybe they're coming into it, but
Oh, then
I
ODU
mean,
had no excuse to lose that way to Marshall then. Well, then I feel a
yeah,
lot worse about ODU then.
yeah. They lost to Montana State.
Yeah, that's
Marshall
crazy.
did,
Yeah.
yeah, which is a new FBS team. So if that kind of tells you anything. I mean, they beat Middle Tennessee, which is like a really bad team by 2 touchdowns. I mean, but so is Georgia State. So is but hard to go off of transitive properties in the college football world. But yeah, it's hard to win home games. So away games is what I would say, anywhere in college football.
Mm-hmm. I
But go
agree.
ahead, Luke. Sorry.
I feel like it all depends on how Carl Joseph plays against
Colt.
JMU. If Carl Joseph goes
Colt.
off, huh?
Sorry.
Kojo.
Oh, my bad.
Just Kojo.
It all depends on how he plays, because that man, he's crazy. I mean, you don't see a lot of quarterbacks go for rushing attempts, 196 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns against Indiana like they did August 30th, which is crazy. He also had 3 picks, 85 passing yards. So I think it's really gonna, and they lost that one by 17. I think it was 10-27. So inside looking in, I feel like it's all really going to depend on how Carl Joseph plays that game. Carlton or whatever his name is, Joseph plays that game. He is a demigod at dual threat quarterback. I think he's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country right now, the way he's been playing.
I'd take Pop Watson over him, but we can go on.
Both. I feel like we're both laughing because you're wearing a maroon shirt, right? And he just tore up Virginia Tech.
I know. I know we couldn't stop him.
Couldn't stop him.
The Tech has a hard time with the dual threat quarterbacks.
I told you that in the podcast. Thank you. Thank you. Just tell me I know ball, all right? All right. Yeah, that's good for the JMU game. Sorry, Luke. I wish you were coming, but we will. I'm feeling worse about it because last time Luke came, we won by what, 60?
Yeah,
So,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Yeah, if they lose, it's because of Luke.
yeah, I agree. All right, let's dive into a little Virginia football. Go ahead and give us your breakdown against UNC.
You play Washington State. UNC's next week.
Jesus. Man, these schedules are crazy looking on my computer. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, so we got Washington State. We touched on it to open a little bit. Washington State's been, before last week, statistically and just on a game-by-game basis, regarding the competition they've been playing, one of the worst teams in the FBS. And then out of nowhere, they played really well on the road against Ole Miss last week and almost beat them. So that's concerning. Their quarterback, that made a quarterback change, went from this pocket guy who was really inefficient, didn't really do anything well, to this bigger running quarterback that's been giving teams problems. That change, I think, has sparked some momentum within them. And so, yeah, they played well on the road, like I said, against Ole Miss, and they'll be looking to do the same against us. We're coming off of being needed bad, trying to get healthy. We get a couple guys back on the O-line for this week, so I'm hoping that our run game will be well, so or go well. In terms of a matchup, Washington State has a really bad rushing defense and a really bad rushing offense, and those two things happen to be our strengths. We have a great rushing defense and one of the best rushing offenses in the country. So I think this game is pretty simple for us. We just take care of the ball, control the clock, run the ball. We will. It's not like we need Chandler Morris to go out there and be Johnny Manziel or anything. We should be able to take care of business. But if we come out a little flat out of the bye, maybe a little mistake prone, throw a pick or have a fumble or something, give them some momentum. I do see our defense having trouble containing a running quarterback because that's been an issue for us as well. A little bit this year, but more last year. So, yeah, I think it's just going to come down to carrying the ball, being smart. But there's no excuse or reason that we shouldn't be able to run the ball when we want and stop the run. So, yeah, spread is 17 and a half. I'm going to say Washington State covers by a little bit. I'm going to say 37-21. I predict that Washington State will come out early and maybe take a touchdown or 10-point lead. We're just a little slow and a little flat coming out of the bye. But I think towards halftime and definitely the third quarter we'll take over, prove our talent, prove our worth. So, yeah, I like that score, 37-21.
You want to go first, Luke?
You can.
All right. Yeah. So the quarterback last week against Ole Miss he rushed for 11 times for 18 yards, which some of that could be sacks, but he had 218 through the air and 2 touchdowns. And they also had a receiver go for 90 with 9 receptions. I do think you're right. I don't know. I hope Washington State's not very good because we play them later this year at home. So, and I'm going to that game too. Imagine that. But yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Zach, just out of hopefulness, because I don't think you can really say what Washington State is going to be when they come and play. So it's hard to say. I'd say I wouldn't bet this game ever.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, because who knows? They could have turned
Or
around
Georgia.
yesterday.
Or Georgia versus Alabama, like Zach said. I put my life savings on negative 2.5 spread, and Alabama takes them down.
I got another life savings bet this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right, Luke, give it to us so we can get some betting stuff.
Yeah, I would say Virginia wins. I'd say they cover the spread. You said it's negative 17 and a half. I think they at least win by 20. Chandler Morris is playing out of his mind right now. So yeah, I would say they cover the spread. I think they win by 20. I think UVA is going to score like 48. I think Washington State's at least going to score 17, 20 some points.
I like it.
All right, let's get into some betting. Zach, if you got a life savings bet, go ahead.
Yeah, this isn't I was sorry. I was wrong on that Georgia Bama one. I'm glad nobody listens to our podcast because I'll be bankrupt. Yeah, so this is another one where it's just like I look at the line, I just like kind of throw up. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. LSU at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's favored by 2.5. And then that game against South Carolina, Lenore Sellers had a concussion in the early second quarter, and South Carolina's backup quarterback's not very good, so that kind of nullifies that. They haven't really played anybody else other than Bama, and they just did not look good. They did not look put together on the road against Bama. So, and I think LSU is just really hungry. They're still trying to bounce back from that Ole Miss loss a couple weeks ago. They looked okay against South Carolina last week, but I think this is finally the game that Nussmeier and the offense gets going, and I just don't get why Vanderbilt's favored. Even if it's at home, we all know Vanderbilt's home field advantage is a joke. It's a high school stadium. It's always 60-40 the other fan base, especially with LSU. It'll basically be a home game for LSU. So, yeah, I got LSU and pretty big. I got them 31-17 by 14. So I would definitely take LSU money line.
What Vanderbilt do to you?
They're ranked too high.
You're crushing them. I don't like the pick, but that's just me. I think Vanderbilt beats them. I don't like. I'm the opposite. I don't think LSU is very good. I think they've been playing some crappy teams, and yeah. But I got Duke, Georgia Tech.
I knew this was coming. I
I
thought about
wanted to
this
get
one.
mine out before Luke. Duke is favored by 1.5. Yes, they're at home, but Georgia Tech is. I mean, they're just gonna run all over them.
It's going to be a high scoring game. That's guaranteed.
You think so?
Duke's
I
quarterback, I think, is the best in the ACC.
I
I think he's better
agree.
than Carson Beck.
I do agree he is a very good quarterback, and they paid a very good.
Yeah.
They paid a lot for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Duke lost to Tulane. I can't get behind Duke. But 3-0 in the ACC. Maybe they're
That's
ACC
fair.
merchants.
The Georgia Tech also, I mean,
3-0 in ACC. Yeah.
yeah, and some of their wins like that they beat Colorado on the road in the opening game. Colorado looks horrible now, so that's unimpressive. Everybody freaked out over the Clemson win. Clemson now looks really bad. Couldn't even beat Syracuse at home. And then they basically literally lost to Wake Forest on the road, but because the ref didn't see somebody offsides by 8 yards, the refs handed Georgia Tech that game. And then Virginia Tech hung around a little bit with them. I don't know. I'm the opposite with you on this one. I think Georgia Tech is kind of unimpressive. They don't really have any marquee wins. They haven't really played a true team. I think this is their toughest test. I think Duke's up for the challenge. I think Duke will win.
Damn. Tough.
Tough.
We're not betting this week. We ain't betting. Go ahead, Luke. You get. I know Luke's got to go on.
Uh-oh.
Luke is pretty
This
good
is
at
gonna
betting.
be. I have two ones that I really like. Two really big upsets. I like calling the upset games. Miami beat Louisville last year, 52-45. I feel like Louisville's coming off it. They've had a bad past couple weeks. They have that bad taste in their mouth from last year. They have a 10% chance of winning. But I think Louisville beats Miami. I think they show Carson Beck's overrated, and they beat Miami at home.
Luke, you're going a little too hard.
Or
Miami's favored by
my
14. You
second
at
one that I
least just
really
say cover. Or Louisville covers that spread. You don't got to take money
Oh
line.
no! I think Louisville's beating them, man. I think Louisville's taking home the belt.
Yeah, I'm definitely not betting with y'all. Not this week.
You said that. You said that. You said that what a couple weeks ago, and then mine hit the one that you said. Oh, that one's not gonna hit. It hit.
Hey, yeah,
Um,
fair enough. But mine did too. Zach.
yeah.
That's true.
The only one that didn't was down there.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What's your second one?
I really like the ASU Texas Tech game. I feel like ASU
I
is
like
gonna
that one
upset
too.
Texas Tech.
That's a good pick. That's my favorite pick actually. ASU, yeah, they've had a tough go at things. Like their two losses were just really kind of tough, and they've had a tough schedule. But they're probably the best 4-2 team in the country. I mean, they were a top 15 team to start the year, or like top 18 or something. They're legit, and Texas Tech hasn't really had to have a true road game against a much better opponent. Like Utah, they beat their ass, but I think they're a little overrated. But yeah, no, that's a great pick.
What are y'all talking about? Texas Tech beat Utah. You know how much Utah beat Arizona State by? 32.
You
What are
just said
y'all
earlier,
on?
don't listen to what's it? Something properties? Some big word for
Transitive
me.
properties.
Yeah, that came
I
from
guess,
you.
but like that's a big difference. Transitive
Oh,
properties, like yeah, 2, 3 points here and there, but like that's tough. I think Texas Tech is the best of the Big 12.
I mean, yeah, that's not really saying a lot though.
I agree with that, but you can only play who's on your schedule, right?
That's right.
That's coach speak right there.
Yeah.
All right, another episode in the books. Definitely not betting with you guys, but that's why I don't bet.
This is actually like last year, like you can track all your, not like your, like, there's like the fantasy games app, there's no money on it, and ESPN. And so you can bet the spread and just game straight up. and it like keeps
Like a
track of
pick
your
'em.
percentages. Yeah, yeah. And like last year, my college football was like unreal. I thought I was like some mastermind genius. I was like 93.7% against the spread, and then like straight up like 79%. I could have made so much money if I like actually did all that. And then so going into this year, I was like, let's see if I can replicate it. I am fucking dog shit this year. I'm like 47%. So that just shows like it doesn't matter. But what's funny is last year I was so bad in NFL. I've always been bad with NFL picks. This year, going the fuck off. I'm only doing straight up, but I think right now I'm like 92.5%. It's like unreal. I don't know what's going on. But of course, if I actually try and bet this weekend, I bet I'll lose every single game.
How it goes.
Yep. It's a bitch.
Yeah, they're fickle. The betting gods. All right. So this was Who Runs the Commonwealth. Let's break it down real quick. UVA is definitely number one, followed by either JMU or the ODU. We'll find out this weekend. Oh, I'm sorry. Who do you have at second?
There's no way ODU deserves to be in front of GMU at this point.
All right,
But
that's
but
fair
you know,
enough.
you're right.
All
You're
right.
right. We'll see this weekend for sure.
Yeah. 2 and 3 is JMU, ODU. You decide where they are. I have ODU. I mean, I have JMU at number two, but I'm trying to be a little humble. All right.
It's fair.
Who's next? I guess Virginia Tech, right? Who else is in Virginia?
Yeah, it's got to be Virginia Tech.
Richmond? William Mary? Sorry, it was a joke.
Luke left for that comment.
Oh, good. But yeah, I mean, Virginia Tech and then Liberty, I
Liberty
guess. I
probably.
guess Liberty rounds it out. I'm sure they'd take William and Mary or Richmond, probably. Anyway, all right. Thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on Twitter and watch us live on YouTube. Not live, but watch us on YouTube. It's a good time. Any closing remarks, you two?
No, sir. Wrapped it up well.
All right.
Wait for Pop Watson 2025 when he gets his first start. He's going to pop off. Just warning you.